Howdy, gang. How? Welcome back to Pyre. Alright. Things seems to be in order. My overlay. So, today should be your big day. I think that we are heading to the summit. I mentioned this at the end, but finally going to be able to talk about what this game actually is, because yeah, we're getting to the end of our first journey, so we'll continue on our journey. Also, reminder for myself, there are 2 games I'd like to talk about at some point. So, depending on the length of this, I'll probably just tack them both on at the end. We'll see how that works out. And one of them is actually going to be relevant for once, so that's good. Anyways, at dawn, Wolfred is already up. He reveals to you a pathway through the woods into the cold lands of the north, beyond which lies your next destination. The Schlorian Shore. Wolfred revealed this to be the one path through the woods into the north. You get clear of the woods at last and arrive in lands grown cold in the shadow of Mount Helodiel. You will have to make it all the way to the top. In a moment of respite, Wolfred calls everyone together to discuss matters pertaining to the rites and the plan to which he alluded. Name's America. He looks in your direction as he asks, defying you to answer. You cannot sense his own thoughts on the subject, and only know the truth of how you feel. Achieving inner peace? Not sure if that's what freedom necessarily means. No, I suppose it does. Freedom from society. Though that's the one freedom that we don't actually need to escape the downside to achieve, don't you think? Feel true love. Again, that's another thing about society. Without fear, yes, that's a good one, but I'm not sure America even has that. Freedom means nothing. Go where you please. I suppose that is the broadest definition of it. Having no master. Yes, I think that's the exact definition. Being able to do what you want. Making your own decisions. That's what I mean to say. All this other stuff, it's all situational, you know? Being able to feel true love, well, what if the other person doesn't feel that love? Not freedom. Going where you please, what if where you want to go is someone's home, and they don't welcome you there? These are all things that can't necessarily be fixed by leaving. I guess having no master is also in that category, though. issues that we're stuck in the downside. So in a way, we do all have a master because we need to stay here to serve our punishment. It's difficult to get out, if not impossible, but theoretically, if you could, then you'd be free, right? Doing what you want. These are kind of the same, don't you think? I guess having a master doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do what you want. Just whether or not you're living for yourself. I'm gonna stick with having no master. This is just like a really weird question, don't you guys think? I'm not sure I agree with any of these to the fullest extent. Then I don't know how else I would put it into words, so I'm sure they tried their best. You tell Wolfram that freedom means not having to answer to anyone, and going through life beholden only to one's own will. He considers your remarks for a short while. Did he just tell me I'm wise? All of us at one time or another have to answer to someone with more wisdom in the world than we. Oh, we're all going to talk to someone smarter than us, right? So, that could be a compliment. He could be saying that you're never going to be free of other people's will. Then he turns his attention to the whole group.
Na libra desertus. Na libra narum saroshe.
Oh, is he gonna say all the things? Oh, I didn't even think of that angle. For the one that said you'd be able to feel true love, he's probably talking about, like, sexuality, like being persecuted for being gay or whatever. That kind of thing. Didn't even cross my mind. It looks out towards distant mountains.
Prelusei travestarum. Kersam sublaritas.
He turns to you and everyone again, looking to each of you.
Ramsetam librage. Sepranum sampegrasse. Argedere splaren.
Spiral Sanctum. Burned down remains of the old capital of the Commonwealth. There remains stand of a warning to those who would seek to spread forbidden knowledge. So the Capitol got burnt down as a form of censorship. Maybe the forbidden knowledge is the fate of the old king, the emperor, whatever.
Sirimdare. Presevare gares. Tentashe baromet.
Wilfred pauses for a time, examining each member of the group. No one stirs.
Iradet. Quare velibralias?
Then he lets out a long breath.
Fare toros.
Wilfred turns towards the mountain, leaving you to consider what he said and plot the wagon's northward path. Alright, so he explained his big plan now. Once we get to the top of the mountain, one of us is going to earn our freedom. And once we're there, we're going to be put into a position of power. He plans to use these new positions to help bring change to the Commonwealth, or at least completely overthrow their current hierarchy. So, in a way, doing the rites, like as a team-based sport thing, actually prepares these people to be in these positions of power, because it teaches them to think of others. Because, you know, you have to work as a team to succeed. Anyways, plans to get someone out there, put them in power, and, like, keep in contact with them to help drive things that we will never see. Considering that the reader doesn't actually participate in the rites, he can never earn freedom. We're stuck here. Wilfred indicates it's the only way to reach the base of Mount Oleandale. I feel like one of those letters is silent. Anyways, that a house? What is that? What was I saying? Right.
Pensarus de menturis.
I was gonna talk, but then I realized I had triggered a cutscene. The sacred mountain on whose summit the rites were first conceived. On whose summit, right? Whether its summit is the downside closest point to Commonwealth Forest, I can say. Alright, I've read that before. Discuss the plan. I guess Wolford's gonna fill us in more. Really beyond her crystal as a challenge for Headwind as well. Wolfred stares at you rather intently, as if reaching out to you, and then...
Shemtage amitas.
Oh, right, I guess I kind of spoiled that for a second, but you can assume as much, right? We're not playing the sport ball, we're just coaching them. Fully realize, yeah, you can assume it. I haven't read the whole book, bro. You see how thick that shit is? It's been like 5 days. Something like that. Each writes a night. Wolford breaks free from you and looks at you again. Then he speaks to you as normal. Why'd you have to talk to me in my mind, bro? Maybe to keep it secret?
Narum care saste.
Why is he only inviting me to leave now? Like, it definitely feels like he's still trying to kick me out, because he's not begging anyone else to leave for their own safety or whatever. Not because he needs them. He doesn't need us. I guess he did give everyone an open offer, but like he's really pushing it with us. Wolford indicates that we are such as we cannot go through rites, so you understand. Alright, sake, maybe there is a way. Maybe we can make a speedboat to go up the tough ass currents. They don't care. I mean, that's like big facts. Don't expect anything. He knows where to find them. It's true. Let's just see how honest I am with myself. Yeah, I don't care. The warning is of little consequence to you. You've always known those keen to warn against one course of action or another. None of it swayed you, and as ever, you shall forge your path.
Irridet. Merensena zemta.
He strides out of the wagon, then leaving you with your thoughts. As you might imagine, going up the mountain's actually going to take a bit of, maybe the longest adventure segment in the game I can remember. it all speeds up after the initial battle up there, but yeah, it's gonna be a minute, a lot of reading, a lot of silence, I guess. I wish I had a better way of handling this, but the fact of the matter is, I can't do several voices, so that's gonna confuse a lot of people, I'm sure. Anyways, we have a thing for Edwin. Let's talk to her, I guess.
Igriata. Melograte.
Sisters of the Arch. Ancient band of killers trained almost from birth to carry out their missions without fail. All sisters needed was a name, a sum of 500 soul up front. Assassin.
Marite o compra. Shivanta vise.
Right. I guess that means we can assume that she got put down here because she got caught on a job or something, right? Or maybe they simply threw her out, like set her up because she was blind.
Tere paloje.
Hedwin's getting one. I mean, he's pretty much the most generic of the characters. Not that that's a bad thing. No, I don't know what kind of buff they plan to give him. You asked standard mission. Right.
Castes.
Soon Hedwin's appears and he does summons. I thought this loading screen reminds me of like old Ubisoft. Or maybe just a company that used to work with them a lot. Two games that come to mind specifically are like the Tarzan and Rayman Arena game on the GameCube. Anyways, apparition of Sandra appears and fastens her mask.
Pistos.
Itrare. Geratilste basta.
They're using a super balanced team against us too. Probably to show that he's good against everyone. I'm getting my ass beat already. Oh! No. get her shit together soon, I'm sure. It's not like I can walk out of these if I lose. Dodge. Fuck you. Oh. They cast so much faster. Or maybe they're just doing charge things. Ah. Wow. Fucker. Are you invincible for a short time after spawning? What was that? Be able to charge up a full cast while I had my ring around her. Ah. Oh. The delay after you attack keeps killing me. You're just like stuck in a casted animation. Whatever, that's the point of these. To learn how to use the guy. Obviously you're not going to win a 3v1 unless you do. Since he's the most generic character, mastering this will make me better at the game overall. I need to focus on baiting out their attack before I even try to do anything. Ow! Could have jumped after that. Didn't. Ow! I really should have ran at him if that was my strategy. There, I got a point. I just have to do like 2 more of those. Ah! The indicator on her cast was psyching me out because it was going through the wall, even though it wouldn't have actually done that. Thought it was maybe a bug or something, you know? take out their deadliest character. Oh, he's so fast. You son of a bitch. Ah. What? I get it. I don't feel like I got better though. I didn't realize how freaking slow this casting is.
Mon protège pas loger.
Demabritare.
Bulls Bracer. Headwind power casts his aura with greater ease and gains an infinite stamina on hit for 2 seconds. That's kind of awesome. After you take someone out, you get infinite stamina. Also easier to do power casts. Jeez. I didn't even... I don't want to check. Looks like we're fine. It's raining super heavy out right now. It's supposed to continue to do so for the next few days, so maybe it would make my internet bad. So I was apprehensive about being on today. Onward. Earlier, Volfred called for a group meeting, presumably to reveal his plan in more detail. Instead, he reveals some bad news.
Tevaram.
Vistare daste.
Oh, I guess I spoiled that part too. Whatever. You know, he gives it to you all at once.
Cebrale Cereras.
You, Headwind, and the others exchange glances.
Bendale Dantas.
Scribe's Gate, instead describes himself, keep watch over the Scribe Gate. The judgment of the scribes determines who can cross and who is sent the fast way down. Ball of Solium, celestial landmarks. Temple of the highest point, Downside exists to honor the 8 scribes. Our opponents are going to be the Tempers, a mighty triumvirate that has been the closest rival of the Nightwings. Their leader, Ignarius, the notorious demon leader of the most feared triumvirates in the rites.
Cerebrametaros.
Tomire Tamen.
Maderusat.
Setavelosum.
Lorigas entrave.
Taras nomin.
Geresama rictus.
Wilfred leaves the rest of you to consider what he said. You have time now for your vocations. At dawn, you shall begin your ascent to Mount Oliel. Right, so only one at a time. That, it sort of gives the game a bit more of a high school / college sports dynamic, where people are graduating every year. So, the guy who used to be your MVP, probably going to be the one who graduates, right? You're going to have to, like, learn to use everyone. People with seniority get bonuses because, you know, they have more experience, or in this case, literal perk points. And it also means that you can't rely on any one person, because they're going to go away eventually. I remember the first time I played, I made the mistake of setting, like, my literal MVP away first. And that... it kind of screwed up the way I played the rest of the game. In a good way. And it made me learn how to use all the characters, as I knew I wouldn't be able to hold on to them anymore, but... I also lost the guy who'd been winning me everything. I think it might have been Hedwin at the time. I just always kept him in because how generic he was. Also, he deserves to go. Go with quickness again. So that's another aspect of it they have to consider. That, you know, there's some people that you don't actually want to leave. Like, Kizo, as much as I love the little guy, he's happy down here. He's not, this environment isn't hazardous to him. He doesn't really need to go. Nor does he want to. Or he's curious about the Commonwealth, but he's never seen it, and he doesn't care to go back. Someone like Jodariel, who's now a demon, probably wouldn't be too welcome back there either. And then, you know, we're fighting for freedom, but the opponents are too. So in some cases, you might feel bad for them and even throw a game. But in many other cases, you won't want any of them to go free. Like, we just went up against 2 military teams. Those are probably people we don't want to send back. Manly is some kind of sociopath. Probably don't want to send him back. the witches are up to evil stuff. Probably don't want to send them back. But I don't know, our first opponents, they were pretty normal. I'm sure they'd be fine, right? Anyways, here before you lies Mount Olodell. Someone's gonna pronounce it eventually in English, I'm sure. Olodell. Searching far beyond inner line of sight, somewhere upon this mountain lies only place from which you can escape the downside. Your companions gather around again before Wolfred. He stands tall as ever. Whether from the cold air or the subject now at hand, you sense attention in the air.
Pregum trageras.
But there's only science. One question stands out in mind, which you refrain from asking at. If only one of you gets to go free, then who shall it be?
Frare timigentas. Canorum. Quem prevestamoje. Sem keras cogiter. Sirindare. Civitergi tranza. Tevema, regandes.
Your head is beginning to spin. You can excuse yourself or keep listening. Es muy importante. Wolfred's explanations are a lot to take in, though you feel compelled to absorb as much of what he is willing to tell you at this point. Prompts for further questions when Jodario raises her voice again.
Inverto.
Liberation Rite. This is what we call the championship match. On a blooded moon at the fall of Solium, an exile from clothing refinement shall go free. The annoyed champion then shall plunge into the shimmer pool and return in glory to the Book of Rites.
Itrage. Kerasama rictus. Renan Noxalas.
Ignare sano.
Nuncare Blarius.
Repeta canta.
Che ventura Rosé. Pretere Magretas.
Some murmur to themselves about all this as Wolfred takes his leave. Other, reconnoiter pathways leading up the mountains and present you with some options. Reconnoiter. Is that really what you say? I know. Alright, I get it, it's recon, but I've never heard the full word. So the mountain itself is a pretty weird looking place. It's got like a lot of white, got stuff floating in the air. Got those crystals we saw in the previous screen. It's just like a big mush of things. I think there's even a part with some lava. Very much like a different planet even. Like a moon. Embers fall. Amethyst expects to find some long-lost valuables. May believes the scribes will bless whoever's here. So, buffer items. I'll go for items. Right, so we talked about how the Nightwings are a team that everyone else is judged against. That's why failure doesn't necessarily matter. At the end of each year, essentially, you'll go against whoever performed the best against you. So if you really think that you can crush the shit out of a team, you can technically game the system by letting them demolish you. Now that wouldn't be very sportsman-like, would it? Anyways, you join Pamtha on her brief expedition, find anything valuable, drop by those who tried to scale the mountain but did not succeed.
Quare?
Momi talarantas.
Tagere tam.
Ishtare Tirias.
Nakinta mirer.
Hamperluge.
Kita mapare?
Inzara Prilias.
She points it out too. Some people will just, you're fine here. Wolfred's all good. He actually built his plan around the idea that he wouldn't go free, though you can set him free if you so choose.
Tikata Shreya.
Shemporidas. Molte vrenitasta. Nemtali Dina.
Pyre intervened. Jodariel's eyes burn with fury, and then she calms herself.
Quare liberatus?
Amethyst scoffs at Jodariel storms off.
Impragitaste.
He swoops out of sight, leaving you alone there on the mountain. Amethyst soon returns with something that lay long forgotten in the rocks below. The luminous idol. After grasping the orb, the bearer instantly recovers all stamina. Was this like a consumable type thing? Do I have to hit a button, or did these appear on the map randomly? Not sure. Or does it maybe mean that whenever you stop, your stamina just comes back instantly? Guess that needs to be tested. Alright, Sir Gilman wishes to look upon the sacred waters here. Probably give him a buff specifically, maybe an item. Edwin expresses a passing whim to see the view from here. Now we're using Gilman in our next rite for sure. We're going up against a demon for sure, so past characters have a bit of an advantage. I feel like the rest of his team is demons as well, but I'm not sure. Anyways. The worm surges towards the waters of the Crystern. You decide to join him for a brief excursion there after another hard day's ride. You find him in a shallow pool, appearing very much contented. Yeah, he just needs water. Doesn't even need to go free either. He sighs, splashing about from time to time. Then he turns his attention over to you.
Sentais. Loyate noxanas.
With that, Sir Gilman sinks in the waters. His tail waves you as you leave him for now. I think all of these give you like a hard target to these people. And, you know, most of them are probably going to say don't send me, but Gilman specifically, he has like self-worth issues. He's never going to feel he's good enough. I think maybe if you use him against his old team, something might change, but I don't remember. I do believe I did send him back eventually for whatever reason. Just because I liked him, probably. I need him to see that he's good enough. And Pamitha, I guess she expressed no desire to leave. Her old beefs with her sister, so as long as she's down here, she doesn't need to go anywhere. experience from that. You and your companions gather at Scribe's Gate, where the single narrow trail to the summit narrows even more and falls under an archway carved of stone.
Tandiem en celum. Num caravaras.
Secretaves.
Removing his hat, the lone minstrel approaches the gate. You and all the others follow. When the last of your companions nears the ark, you notice something standing high above, who then appears before you. Can't tell if that's a cape or wings. She eyes Lone Minstrel first.
Salutium Ceres.
Last. She watches over the scribe gate, sees you connected to Lone Minstrel and writes. I don't suppose there's some racist reason for the contrast here.
Felamta Ceres.
Tantarara Frontus.
Nah, that has to be a cape, because it's not even, right? Like a scarf or something, doing a JoJo pose.
Va.
Estaradantus.
She gestures towards the rest of you.
Oxare Shontas.
Your fellow exiles exchange glances, but quickly comply.
Gratestale.
I'll start calling. Woman bids him farewell. Lone Minstrel prompts Ruki to speak up next.
That you may sister?
Ma tempratar.
Izo seeks to live up to Nightwind's legacy and may see the Commonwealth someday.
Sumilian pergunta.
Simaroshen Taromdas.
Then as Wolfred steps forward, the one called Celeste raises her voice.
Nakirada.
Semcaratarius.
Tencramta.
Cogreme varemas.
She waves him by. Wolfred used to actually be a player would explain why he knows so much about the rites. And she turns to you, for there is no one left to go. Right, I realized that my previous statement sounded pretty horrible. I didn't mean that the contrast was she's black and the minstrel is white. Except the minstrel is super pale, like maybe he's not even human. And considering that there's bird people, and these are maybe wings, question mark, maybe she's a different race entirely as well. Feel bad the way I phrased it the first time. And Tark at least seems to be, like, integral to this whole process, so maybe he's been around for a very, very long time. As would she. They could be scribes for all we know, I don't know. Alright, so who are we? I think this is a bit of a weird question, because we just invent a personality for ourselves on the spot. You don't know who you are, and it makes the most sense, really. I think this one makes an amount of sense too, considering that we got thrown in here because of our ability to read. I'll go with the Crippled Scholar. Probably wouldn't take kindly to me not knowing who the hell I am. You've always sought to understand the world around you. Knowledge proved dangerous in the Commonwealth, but now it has brought you to this point. The one called Celeste continues to examine you, expecting you to add to your response. What do you truly seek? True freedom, help your friends, revenge. Let's see what happens. I want to help these people, otherwise I wouldn't have stayed. Companions you have met here who have helped you to survive and find kinship in the downside. Your priority is to ensure that they achieve their goals. That is all you wish for now. The woman regards you for a time and then nods once and waves all of you by.
Gratan och Deloriga.
The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome here. Go forth with glory.
Kivaret.
And Tark?
Deranta Dale.
On your way as well. One minstrel bows his head and puts his hat back. He does not look back at her. On top of Mount Oliadel, you see the distant downside before you. You think on the many thousand leagues you cross to reach this point as the sky grows dim. How did Ron get here? What is this? River Frost. So cold it can burn the skin, but keeps the wagon cool and food fresher longer. So cold it can burn. I appreciate they freezed it that way, because that's what freezing is. It's just another form of burning. It's a rapid transfer of electrons one way or the other. And that's why being frozen still feels very much like a burning sensation. Anyways. Dario appears to be prepared for whatever is to come this night. Though it is not yet dark, she is already in her raiments. Edwin soon joins her, also looking ready.
Vado a andare.
Chissà.
Liberage carica.
Agnes Everet.
They share a laugh together. The three of you exchange glances, but nothing is said, or needs to be said. Soon, if Wolfred is to be believed, one of your companions may regain his or her freedom.
Lacrimosa.
They're all super anxious about this.
Nim solis.
Ita pare.
Este finitare.
Amir tam.
Motiven?
Tanuk Sibero.
Elamta.
He shoots a look at you.
Kiam decent.
Edwin slams his fist against the wall.
Quadre saro.
These three at least should get out because they're promised, though I'm sure Godario doesn't necessarily care. You also have to consider that eventually you'll run out of teammates. Can't do the rites without 3 people.
Senta Yunka.
Liberage carica.
Godario turns to you. He nods to reassure you and to reassure herself. Rookie nods his head in turn, and Hedwin gaze never once falters.
Solameten.
One by one, they turn towards the door. The fall of Solium awaits, a vital step in your quest for freedom, yet you feel in your heart that it shall only be the first. Your 3 companions each gain +1 hope. Damn, I wanted to use Gilman, but they all have buffs, so I guess that makes all of them objectively better for the moment. That's another thing I forgot to mention. I'm pretty sure the people who are eligible to leave have to have participated. So you can't just, like, let free a character that you like, but don't want to play as. Anyways, read this. The mercy shown. The Emperor and I were helped to save... We helped to save the Emperor. And then the danger did subside. My Emperor Solium, he said something to me which shook up the essence of my being. I dislike the way this is written with all these commas. It's like how the Orthodox Jewish people speak. Hand me a bagel, why don't you? That was probably a bad example. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if these were restructured the other way, it could probably be one fluid sentence without any commas. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyways, you said you gave your freedom, Master Goliathan, so that I may yet have mine. You two now are in exile of the downside, and all the days which I have left, I never could repay the mercy you've shown to me. So if I cannot do so in this life, then I shall do so in the next. We crossed the land together, and together with the imp, we gained the company for those who saw in him what I did. Now, I do remember an imp team. It might be a one-off thing, but I feel like we would have gone against them by now. They shouldn't be introducing more teams after this. I guess that means it is a one-off thing. That said, we're not gonna, like, go through the same areas. That'd be boring. We are gonna go back, but we'll take different paths. Scribe Snuff. This lets you respec. I don't have any money anyways, do I? So I'm not sure how to use this. It doesn't have any ranks either, so maybe it is a consumable? No. It's like a worse version of what Headwind did, but the moon drop can be picked up by anybody, even the enemy, and that's the issue with it. I don't think I'm buying anything. I don't have money. I was considering selling the idol just because I don't know how to use it, but then I remember I can do a practice ray if I really wanted to know. Yeah, I guess we'll use our basic team. Ugh.
Kiratem.
Tempraje nanset.
Butaram siste.
Nara teromestas.
Sa.
Zenem kaje skravet. Kirsare damoshe. Benravetasta.
Many years have passed since last the Nightwings gained the summit of the sacred mountain and stood upon the fall of Solium. You are to be commended for your guidance, reader, but only if you can prevail in this Liberation Rite. Here you stand to gain much more than some enlightenment. Your adversaries are none other than the Tempers. I trust they need no introduction. Soon, one among you shall regain their freedom.
It's such a simple idea for the way out, but in waterfall, shooting upwards, still so cool. I guess I would technically make it a geyser, but shut up, it's a reverse waterfall. I guess you could also say it's fitting that it's a water, because it's like a sort of baptism. Once you get up there, you've been cleansed of your sins.
Regetan Oxalas.
The massive deviant swaggers into view. He reaches for his mask. Look at this Chad. Anyone with a pompadour is a badass. You know, it takes notice of someone in your ranks. He indicates Jodariel. She scoffs back at him. Jodariel's hesitation is almost imperceptible before she moves to remove her mask, just as her adversary asked. Ain't the time to flurry, old hound dog. Jodariel soon puts her mask back on. Ignarius throws his mask back on as his allies snarl at the rest of you. No, I think there is another team, because I remember a different demon, not this guy. One minstrel gets your attention, and so away. Ow. First guy chooses the one who gets the freedom.
Vorana Crantus.
Who most deserves their freedom?
Wow. Yeah, I feel like Headwind is like driven enough to actually go free. Like he would stick to the plan, as would Jodariel, because she wants to get Headwind out of here. And I guess Rookie doesn't feel like he deserves it yet, or maybe he's hiding. Sounds like he was in some debt trouble. And old Tizo just wants to go. Maybe people who are beyond level 2 are only eligible? That makes sense. That in mind, I guess I'm picking Edwin. I feel like he's the guy who should get out in everyone's game. I've always been curious about what a bad ending would look like, but I of course didn't lose enough of these Liberation Rites to see it. I might have to look that up later.
Headwind.
And the Gate Guardian looks upon you and your adversaries. Actually, considering that Headwind's thing is desertion, it'd be a sort of redeeming arc for him to go up there and like stick it out for the rest of his team. And the Gate Guardian looks upon you and your adversaries.
Minsa taroste.
She then turns to you.
Who shall lend him support? Joe Dariel.
You know, the other guy I'm thinking of might be a recruit for one of the teams, not necessarily a whole new team. I guess other people can technically join. I think every team has like at least 2 interesting people on them, so there's always someone that you want to not go free or whatever. Again, I don't think I let anybody go free, so I don't know if the team's disbanded after the fact or what.
It is done.
He looks so cute with how tiny he is compared to the rest of them. And indicates on Minstrel. I think that they actually play a unique song for this. There's like lyrics compared to the other rites.
Conceal taram. Volunta loregas.
Commence.
Oh wow, they have a witch. Oh. What a worm? I don't know why I thought he was a cur at first. Oh boy. Ah! god, that was way too close.
Edwin plunged into their...
Ooh, their members do such heavy damage. A little scary, I'm gonna lose in like 2 moves.
Good.
Ow.
Be gone.
Ooh. Hey, where's the ball?
Glorious.
Where's the ball? Oh, it's marked on the thing. They're just attacking me for no fucking reason.
Rookie plunged into their pyre. The pyre on each side burns just as true.
Now we're tied.
Goodbye, Edwin.
Shit. Ow.
Darius deals a crushing blow against that pyre. Perhaps you are unworthy. Oh, boo. Yes.
If I get a Jodariel dunk, well, it'll be a win. Except when this shit happens.
At last, the Tempers proved their worth. The Nightwing.
Yeah, I've actually never lost the Liberation Rite. You just got an achievement for it.
Thus ends the Liberation Rite.
That was close, but I feel like I was so sloppy.
Scribes have chosen the exile appointed by the Tempers shall be free. Absolved of all misdeeds, return to glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
Well, maybe if I send Jodariel next time, she can persuade him to help out with the plan. I'm sure Wolfred's gonna be pretty damn pissed at me. He looks around until he spots someone. Named Jodariel, but she does not respond. He turns to the members of his triumvirate. With that, Ignarius leans back and falls into the waters of the Shimmer Pool. Soon there is no sign of him at all. pretty pissed.
Godspeed, Ignatius. The 8 scribes are ever merciful. By their grace, the cycle of the rites may soon commence again.
Having sorry aldım.
Alright, what was the plan for him? Yeah, that's pretty sick. Considering how easy it is to get plunged in with them. This was second jump, third time airborne. Nah, that's pretty great too, though. Free bash, 50% chance to return in only 1 second. Pretty good. Make him even faster. Let's do that.
Until the turning of the stars, farewell.
After falling to the tempers in the Liberation Rite, return to the lag and decide how to proceed from here.
Ustarayisim.
Navaraze.
Marem dare Marcos.
Tupire nase.
Namorente.
Night sky over Mount Holyadel is much darker than you would have expected. Your thoughts are with Headwind as you look towards the heavens. I don't think Headwind wanted to go, I just picked him because I could. Right, so if I remember correctly, or, geez, I guess there's none. I was gonna say, I think multiple stars start shining and we get to pick our locations. There are also these things called Titan stars, which are like mutators for the matches to make the shit even harder. I think I only did a match with 2 of them on at once. There was achievements for like activating all of them, but I guess I couldn't do more than 2. There's the sky, no stars are shining. I forgot to read it. Sorry. From his suspicions.
Alibrale dictas. Vonzare tekitas.
Right. So we're just gonna go camp out while we wait for the next season to start, essentially.
Vondiame ligaratus.
The Moonlight Alcove. Small landing on the dark side of the Sacred Mountain. Wolfred indicates that you can await your next cycle of the rites here. Wolfred leads all of you into a calm and quiet clearing tucked away inside one of the mountain's hidden folds. All about, you see a variety of strange items and equipment. Is this a well that bubbles up water? Or are those trees? I can't tell. They look kind of like these, but very clearly a well right here. Huh. Alright. Need to be scolded. You find Wolfred seemingly lost in thought, but then he turns to you.
Vogliame Ligaratus.
I don't care so much about what he did. He's been down here long enough to have repented, right? I am curious about Tark. Again, is he even human? I'd also like to know why they disbanded in the first place. Let's learn about Tark. Because I mentioned it earlier, and I would hope that I didn't say something horribly insensitive. Yes, Volper about his history with the Lawn Minstrel, he seems to know quite well.
Reprates Tarevan.
Okay, so he pointed out that he's not from the Commonwealth either, so that's puts me at ease. I didn't say anything bad, I swear. I guess I have to ask all these. You expect interest knowing more about the Nightwings came to be and Volfred's past connection to the group.
Luxana Tempres.
Eurissa, a former exile of the Nightwings who conducted the rites alongside Volfred and Ulrich. Oralek, a former exile of Nightwings who conducted the rites alongside, and that's a Conan looking motherfucker. He's a big scary man. Conan as an Age of Conan, not the talk show host. They like both fell off the freaking mountain or the right. That sucks. He asked Wolford about his past in the Commonwealth and how he came to be in the downside.
Harald is the gun.
Stamping press? An illegal invention allowing written materials to be published at an extraordinary rate. Oh, so a printing press. In 617 AS, that probably stands for after Solium. Kind of like AD is after death or whatever. I think it translates into a Latin term that also stands for like the year of our Lord or whatever. So it could be either or AD. Anyways, the Commonwealth was under siege from within, and anti-theocratic propaganda quickly spread. Theocratic. A theocracy is religion ruled, I believe. Might be like how Japan had a god emperor for a time period. That would be a theocracy. Or, easier example, the freaking Vatican. Its own city-state ruled by the Pope. Oh, sure, but if no one can read them, why are you using a press to print stuff? Unless you're doing like little doodles on it. Maybe that's why it's a stamp press and not a printing press. That is all. Thank Wolford for his time, bid him a good rest of the afternoon.
Stage Ligaratus.
Bide your time. I think you get a free, like, slot to do vocations here.
Simedaret.
Not mistaken. For many years, Wolfred smuggled supplies and furnishings into this well-hidden locale. So he, like, planned this out to be the camp for us whenever his plan was set into motion. But there's, like, a house here already.
Namorente.
From the mountaintop, you can see all across downside. It is impossible expanse staring back at you. A thought occurs to you that you may never see another land besides it. And so you and your companions wait upon the mountaintop in quiet solitude, anticipating when the cycle of the rites begins to turn again. This is what I imagine happens to, like, the jocks with no personalities. Their life is football or whatever, and they're not playing the game anymore. It's like, hey, what do you do now? I don't know. Kind of like ESPN. There are just periods where there's no sports going on, and they don't have anything to do but talk about past games that they've already covered. Then you shall have another opportunity to free one of your own. You may earn back their freedom one by one. Many moons pass. Then one evening, one minstrel finds you poring over the Book of Rites, as has been your leaning through your stay at this abode. Follow him into the cold night. Stars shine like you've never seen. Once more the path towards salvation is revealed, but now something is different. Yeah, there we go. So as I said, multiple stars. You can pick and choose who our opponents are now. Each prior time you searched the stars, they showed you a single path. They now reveal rites to avail themselves to you at once. Well, it's not just your opponents you're picking the stage, of course. All the maps have their own gimmicks to them. Solium the Golden Star? Huh. Doesn't look like much of a star at all, does it? Aquith, the Golden Star, star of the Songfisher, who those born under it are cultured and influential. Right. No, if that was a fucked up stage, I'd rather not go there. I feel like we beat their ass, so we can do that easily. Ooh. I think I'll stay away from the witches. Especially after just suffering a defeat. My morale's a little low. Go back to Yomer.
Temere.
Temptapelus?
Irudirandaste.
Thank you to see the flow minstrel smile ever so faintly, but cannot be sure.
Remeron Siranas.
Versare.
Sertas Varten. Baronci Stranesta.
Your companions have not traveled far from the Moonlight Alcove. Word of the news soon spreads throughout the group. Next morning, Wolford calls everyone together before the Black Wagon.
Carum Serevad. Narum care saste.
Something has changed about the wagon's interior. What looked before to be old cracks and signs of age now expose various intricate components, once hidden from view.
Renan Noxana.
He turns to you, indicating levers and devices marked with symbols from books.
Ligaristas. Zocelum tentaris.
We have an airship, guys. It's just like a normal JRPG. This is gonna speed up the travel, like, a lot. It's gonna be a lot quicker between matches. We're gonna go through quite a few cycles, so it's great to have this. After having Sword in the Sky, the Black Wagon remains aloft somehow.
Tereso.
Noxana tempres. Rendus sarcas.
No. It kind of breaks your immersion ever so slightly because the screens just go back exactly the way you've been going through them. You can also see that everyone else has their own flying wagons now. What's going on here? Something about calls your attention. It sure did. Best avert your gaze from the Isle of Yalmer. Even the scribes themselves thought to avoid the place. Let us fly on. Must be one of the Titans. Forbidden Island nested in a deathless tempest. Significance scribes. Got faces all over it. I think there are a few places like that you can get extra lore on if you go investigate them. Might not all be available at once though. Above the waters of Orm Gulf, you notice Sir Gilman sailed up to you very slowly. Oh man, I think about it, it's kind of fucked up. Considering that they're the only sentient sea life, they have the whole ocean to themselves. So they're a freaking massive army of swordfish boys. Just freaking march out of the waters endlessly. Amidst the isolation of the flagging hands, you see big birchwoods from which you first embarked to sea. You wonder how its venerable proprietor is faring.
Grande libro darkness.
Oh, that's fucked up, Wilfred. She wants to see you. How long has it been? Like 2 hours? Yeah, almost on the dot. We got time for another match or two. Oh, we're in the area we want to be in.
Secretaves.
The spring of Yomer is always flowing forth from the crushed carapace of Valanthius, the legend of whose demise is a rather sordid tale. Perhaps you have already read it in the book. Why am I reading this out loud? Oh well, I might as well finish it that way. Not all believe the book exists, of course, nor the greater titans, nor the rites. Encountered exiles, believing that their titan perished quite by accident, rather than by a cunning trap laid by the Yomer many made. With the titan precon beast. Perhaps the star shines down upon one of the way locales, such as the one to ensure they shall witness the proceedings. I think you just mentioned something about the Titan stars, I think they're called. And the thing about the landing zones is you don't get to go right to the right. There's going to be like one adventure segment before you go there. Pedro's interesting sworn pools. Sir Gilman's Justice route looks, I can't read past that. I should. Looks clear, so you should have the time to pursue your vocations. Well, that sounds cool and all, but I don't feel confident I can do this. You touch down the heart of Yomer's Valley, where you face the fate, the dissidents. You briefly wonder where they might now and how they fare. You join your companions for routine inspection of the wagon following its flight. Amethyst confirms the wagon's wheels withstood the shifting temperature and still appear to be in reasonable shape. Right, because they would like expand and contract based on the heat. Gilman managed to calm some of the drive imps from the dizziness or frenzy at high altitudes. Other than that, everything checks out, and the rest of the crew got through the flight without complaint. You have a little time before everything is set forth by land. Okay. Under Crystal seeks Tizo. Wait. Or Gilboy. Now what's this? Shifting sands. So-called singing sands, countless searching wheel mites. Oh. It's like an ant farm. Except it's like a bong filled with sand. Canvas wings, geez, why is it not selecting? The black wagon is flight capable, which means you're not fully grasped yet. Keepsake from the Moonlight Alcove. I imagine the drive imps are like there in hamster wheels, making this thing flap. What the hell is this? A grease stone? Exhibits fragrant disregard for natural law, thus providing light entertainment. Oh, right, the luck's floating there. Sir Gilman is shivering there after Black Wagon's maiden voyage through the skies. You must feel out of place in there. Or like that primal fear you have when you're in the ocean. Or just in any body of water far away from land. You know that you're not supposed to be there. Ametha overhears and joins you.
Sorry, Shanta. Ow, she complimented him. Here I thought she was just a bitch. She departs, but you see Sir Gilman feeling better after the exchange. Gilman gained +1 hope. Yeah, I get to use them. Waking wood wisp inside provide a scarce bit of light when it is needed. All for a low monthly fee. Living in exile. Once I too roamed free. I remember well those days in which I was called chief. I traveled the world over my 4 good balls, and I was well adorned. I wanted to grow stronger. Here at last I have. I shall not mince my words. This place shall either harden you or kill you. It shall haunt you with old memories. You share the exile's plight. My charge is to alleviate the sting of it for you a little bit and prolong your stay, but only for as long as needed. Your charge is to return. We call this place the downside for a reason, but in time here you can learn to eat, to seek shelter, and to find certain beauty in unlikely places. You shall learn to rock. Have more books? How many? Oh wow, a lot of these things open up, holy crap. I need a drink. Years upon long years were spent distilling life essence from many things, which all once thrived under the auspices of their morality. Auspices? Yeah, that's a word. Which we ourselves cut short. It is in this in this we have no regrets, for we learned much, and so we think did they. We earned the title Witch, and were forced to flee into the downside. Here we encountered Sully and Myrrh, and soon we gained understanding for each other. He bade us circumnavigate these lands and catalog our findings. We felt a strong desire to expose the secrets of this land. We wished to yield benefit to those who followed in our wake. Indulge us both, then. So... Oh, well. Yeah, I guess... we have the story of the Emperor here. And then... I don't know what the deal with this is, but I'm not reading these all at once. Probably, I'm guessing that we're not gonna get, like, consistent updates in this anymore, so I'll just read them after a write or two, something like that. Oh, I'll read this one, though. Now, Olodiel, sure. Gaining summit, non-ODL, involved no small amount of sacrifice and sorcery. It's varying proportion. The mountain's energies were palpable. The sensation that we felt, indescribable. The lands we stood upon were closer to the stars than the world we knew. It was upon this highest point in all the downside that we first made efforts to concoct this tome, which you now read. It was there that we were stricken with the vision of cycle of rites and felt together for the first a sense of freedom unlike any we experienced before. But that is a subject in which our comrades shall illuminate in greater detail. Yeah, there's a lot of crap to read.
Eterni talos estas.
Thinking about. She laughs to herself. Wait, does reading mean that you can read my thoughts? Is that what this is? Is that what Wolfred's doing? He's reading me?
Mutempri hostia.
He laughs again. Alright, let's get some for my boy Tizo.
What är rumsanoje?
Creaky. Tizo seems prepared for whatever lies ahead. Apparition Sandra appears and fastens her mask. Rehawk. Tizo indicates his understanding and is prepared to begin Sandra's trial.
Asemtastis. Darsa rictus taras eretalios.
Right, so the plan is to fucking body all of them with the suicide bomb. They're all super fast though, so that makes it a lot more threatening to like miss the attack. Come here, I fucking dare use. What? That's pretty vicious of them. Hand me the ball like that just to kill me. I don't think I'd be able to have the... I don't think I have the reflexes to be able to pull that off. Oh. Oh. Ah, shizzle. Whoa. Everybody got fucked there. It is done. Krihihi. Tizo is excited to complete Sandra's challenge and awaits her approval.
Instru sanctus. Mon protrage paloge.
Eurek! Tizo's happy to be back and wonders what that Sandra granted you. You take a closer look at the artifact in position. Haru's Wing. Tizo Flutter and Zip abilities cost less stamina. That's pretty cool. Though I think it only really matters to Zip. If you fly for too long, you're gonna get body slammed, so it's not really a big deal with that. And then I got the perk that lets me zip more, so it's still not a huge deal for that either. It might let me get in one more zip. I'm not too psyched about using this one. It does provide some amusement in fact. You end up spending part of the day with Tizo exploring the area surrounding your wagon. You learn this area used to be a swimming hole many years ago. Your lasting memory of the place is standing by the shore, imagining you feel the water. As you head back in silence, you consider which your vocations to pursue. You're gonna study. I've come to the conclusion that I am dog butt at this game. It's only going to get more difficult as things go on, so I need to make my my scores count by leveling this when it's available. And I really hope that this isn't just like do 1 extra damage. I hope that's like 5. We'll find out if it's worth it or not when we get to it. Marker and the Dissidents. Sounds like a band. It's probably the idea. Tizo. You observe Tizo rummaging about the black wagon as though in search of something. He notices he's there and rushes up to greet you. Hee, Tizo is glad that you're here. He's just reminiscing about old times. But just as quickly he resumes his search. Haha. Tizo is looking for something a former exile the Nightwings once gave him. A room. He's growing frustrated that the object ceases nowhere to be found. You almost do not notice the menstrual approach. I'm afraid that it's gone, Tizo. I'm very sorry. Real. It was just a spare bandage, he indicates, exactly like the one on his horn. Sick looking bandage, though.
Tenerasta.
Squawks in approval. Confirms this as well. Tizo skulks away up into the rafters. The lone minstrel watches him go. Doesn't exist?
Ceramiscus.
The lone minstrel excuses himself in a polite way, leaving you to consider what he said. I think he was born to serve the Nightwings. I guess it would mean he was born a drive imp in this wagon. It's been his whole life. Right, we got 2 thingies. The 8 scribes. We found each others in due time by fate, not by coincidence. The wise Lou Schlorian stood among the trees, gazing at the stars, expecting us. The wild witch Nilitha was so enthralled by my liege's other transformation, he stayed her sorceries. I guess she's fascinated by the demon transformation. Blessborn Triestus swooped down upon us, but to warn of imminent attack. Many Yomer thus intervened and shared with us humor and his hunt. Even Under King Horus himself sought out audience with us. Thus we became the 8 and journeyed on together. I got one of them about the place that we're at, and that's the one I wanted to read, but I'm not sure how to navigate the book. So I'll settle for just reading this. Celestial landmarks, do you feel kinship with the stars? You owe your everything to them, perhaps one day even your freedom. I chased the stars across the river of my genealogy until they led me here. I demanded they explain to me the paradox of knowledge. Or how is it that something can be shared but still contained within ourselves in its entirety? The stars did not respond, but set me on a quest. I sought the 9 landmarks which they revealed to me, so that someday I would reveal their mysteries to you. These landmarks, emissaries of the stars, are 9 lenses through which we see the land and see ourselves in new light. Spring of Yomer, so I did pick the right category. I oftentimes think of the carapace of the hive titan Balanthius should be an everlasting blemish on an almost splendid bit of land. But Yomer, in his brashness, felled the monster with a certain flare. Then the moon shone through the ridges of the massive carapace and shined upon the pooling ichor, turning into the freshest nectar ever to be tasted. Spring shall flow eternally, and those who walk with it shall experience the resplendent glory of the land. The stars began to fall there in the spring with regularity, and we now know how soon again that they shall do so, and wish for thee to see for yourself. Right. Up to Ron, and we're gonna do right. What is this? When flinging the orb adversary's Pyre, bearer deals bonus damage. Well, that's cool. Makes up for the amount that you lost if you do a quick fling, or even do more damage if you fling it. It's great. The sky grows dark over the spring of Yomer. Hush falls to your companions, especially Ruki. Right, because he's got the thing. He's got beef with the other boy.
Marafrati. A sentir maché. Shena Senta.
I think that he didn't want to participate last time, so sounds like he will this time, and I would guess if I lose, it's going to have a negative impact on him, but if I win, it should be good, so I'm gonna put him in the team. As Ruki marches up towards the clearing, you notice his grin fade away. In the distance, you hear the dissidents begin to hoot and howl. We all wanted to hear this song again.
Reader, ever persevering, aren't we? Well then, rejoice, because the cycle of the rites begins anew. Perhaps you shall find more success this time. Your chosen adversaries here shall be the dissidents. Reduce their flame to ash, just as you did when last you met. Now, who exactly shall oppose them?
Andari, frate.
Oh, maybe I've been involuntarily reading their minds when I see all this. Wow, mind blown. Story through gameplay. Love to see it.
Clare? Questa metà. Questa metà. Ciarombe. Reclamatame. Vereggiare. Ciafferi nicta. Questa frase ama.
Ricky then turns to wow, they have much larger auras than before. You sense Barker speaks troops at distance are more capable than before. Each time you face Triumvirate, they gain talismans and masteries. Do not underestimate them.
Who shall
I guess I already made that mistake. Shit. More about dissidents. Oh wow, I get to look at their stats now. They have a high chance of not being banished. That's shitty. He has 12 presence, so the other guys probably have normal presence then, but is bigger. And I assume these all have the Cur tree. Like, these are things that Rookie can get himself. Anyways, I think Rookie probably belongs here, so...
Rookie.
I'd like to use Gilman.
Sir Gilman.
And we obviously need someone on defense with a large aura, so that'd probably be Izo or Gariel.
Jodiel. It is done.
Alright, we're doing it, baby. Double or nothing. Oh shit, it banished her. See how freaking far they shoot? Oh my god.
The Nightwings assert themselves thusly.
Assert dominance. Keep posing on him.
Simply abhorrent. There it is.
Kinamagandas. Admoretas. Somnidim terum.
That foolish barker was a menace to the Commonwealth and is a blight upon the rites.
Oh, oh Oh
You have it!
Hey, that was a long ass jump.
The Nightwing's pyre burns brighter for now.
Ooh.
The orb!
Ah.
You left yourselves wide open. The two triumvirates are neck and neck.
I think Gilman might have been a mistake. Oh.
Sublime! Your pyre burns brighter for the while. A shameful outcome. Unfortunate. Both triumvirates are equally as close. Onward thus to greater glory. This is the path to glory.
Oh shit.
Glory to the scribes.
Glory.
Good.
Bodied.
Quite foul for the Nightwing.
That was hasty.
Alas. Now toward their flames.
Oh shit, he's so slippery. What? You what, mate?
The orb.
Oh shit.
The orb engulfed in fire. More than a lick of flame remains.
Hey.
It is done. The Nightwings prevail again.
I definitely underestimated them, but I still kind of crushed it.
The rite is ended.
Justine de Terremoon. Siperisa.
Ricky watches him depart and turns to you as his expression softens.
Volum hire.
Bask now
We did it.
in the wisdom of the scribes.
Now he can reasonably leave.
Honor is elusive, O Sir Gilman, yet enlightenment is eternal.
What we got, what we got? That's super awesome. Yes, it's pretty necessary. Especially considering what we just saw happen. Their oars were so wide that he couldn't get close enough to even attack them in any way. So having more presence might help with that as well.
Until the stars align.
You return to the wagon after you and your fellow exiles prevailed against the dissidents. You find Wolford waiting for you there.
Already deceived us. Stare daste.
I feel like there are 4 normal rites and then the Liberation Rite per act. And we can make sure of it by counting up all the stars that we've been to already. It should be about the same. So you show me the leaderboard. Right, still next liberation, question mark. 4 rites conducted, 9, so -2, 7. I feel like they speed up over time though, so maybe we don't do the whole number. Probability of success? Uh-oh. Using Wolford's planner, you may access progress towards the ultimate goal, as well as check the ultimate stance your emissaries. Wolford shall keep his information up to date, remind requests. He also will play anything likely. Yeah. We can fail. It can be pretty embarrassing to do that on stream, but I've never seen the bad endings, so I'm also pretty interested. I'm open to it. Also, it looks like this team was in fact eliminated because their interesting character is gone. I guess we can assume that they don't have enough members to keep conducting. Which, less teams should mean less rights between each thing? Question mark? I don't know. Infinite favor? These guys are pretty low on the list. I think they were pretty easy to beat, though they're probably a lot more organized this time. In fact, they gave us a free point. That's not going to happen again. It's a pretty balanced team, but as we've seen, the Savage race, or whatever they're called, are extremely fast now. I'm gonna go against them. I feel like I haven't used Pamitha enough, so give her another opportunity. Pamitha then tells you more of your next adversary, her own blood sister. Just realized that this isn't being narrated. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna stay silent. Commonwealth sympathizer. I guess she betrayed her army sisters. And that's why they got a family feud happening. You bid goodnight to Pamitha in turn. No time to make flight preparations. Though come morning, the Black Wagon will press onward. Ruki. You approach Ruki, you sense none of his usual anxious energy.
Silum pare.
He's free. Then he rushes up to you and return to form.
Civitergi dirum.
He prances out of the wagon, newfound lightness in his step. Ruki gained +2 hope permanently. This, Fulford's planner. I'm almost at 3 hours. I think this is a solid place to stop while we talk about our other things. I on some background tunes while I do whatever. Okay. So yeah, I might even switch over the view. Let me do some... No, I guess the tunes aren't really gonna help anymore, are they? Probably can't hear them, because I can't hear them. Let's see... fuck it. We won't do quality content. We'll just talk at you. Let the music keep playing. Alright, so game 1 is called East 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. Now I have talked about a prior entry. I believe it was OcelotDolphinCrab, as well as an overview of the first 2 games I played. But this was a very recent game. I've actually since learned that Ys is one of the first, if not the first, action RPG ever made. So it's got some history behind it. Makes you surprised that it was only on 8 a year ago. Where's I going with this? Right. So the previous entry, 7, was a PSP game. Most of this franchise's lifespan has been on the PSP. So 8 was sort of their first major console release in a modern fashion. And that said, it looks pretty. Some effects feel a little dated, and that's kind of like Falcom's whole deal, though, I guess. It still feels as action-y as ever. The combat system's very good. I need to explain all that. As you'd expect from an anime game, you'd have equipment, but it doesn't necessarily like show up on the character. Instead, you have costumes. Your weapons do change, though, so that's cool. Stats are all very basic. You don't have to worry about leveling in like intelligence and agility or whatever. It all just goes up as one thing. Like you have your damage stat and you have your defense stat. No, the game itself has a unique theme, I feel, where you're stranded on a desert island as castaways. And there's a whole like village building dynamic, finding survivors, whole survival bullshit. Before you go and explore ruins, as per usual. And you fight dinosaurs, which is weird. The whole story gets a little weird. It has some bullshit going on about like evolution, dinosaurs, reincarnation. Yeah, it gets wacky, but again, it was unique. I guess I hadn't seen that story played out anywhere before. See, the companions are all pretty fun. I guess none of them are necessarily tropes. Some of them start out seeming that way, but they all come into their own, I feel. You know, you got the shitty tsundere, who's not really a tsundere. You got the dad fisherman, who's epic. You got the edgelord, who's actually a nice guy. You got the little girl, who is not a lolly, question mark? I don't know the rules for that. She's a literal child, so I'm gonna say not lolly. And she also uses, like, she dual wields maces, which is pretty dope. She's fun to play. We've got the cover art waifu, who I feel didn't necessarily belong in the party, considering her role in the game. I'll get more into that in a bit. And, oh, then Adol himself, of course. He's the very generic guy who you always want to play. So, yeah, it had a likable cast. All the people in the village have, like, voice cutscenes and stuff. You get to know everybody. The village building plays into the progression system. Like, you won't be able to make new weapons until you find a blacksmith. And then even then you need to quest to get, like, rarer materials and such. that all felt really good, satisfying to do. Now back to what I was talking about with our waifu Dana. There are segments of the game where you go into the past to live out like her events before whatever happened to the island happened, and rather than a party-based thing, it becomes a single-player game, like the previous entries, and yeah, she has a completely different moveset over there, and like I feel like you play enough of her that she doesn't need to be in your mainline party as well, for spoiler reasons. Kind of like Darksiders 3 in a way, with how she like changes forms to get new weapons and abilities, elemental stuff. It's cool. I liked playing her segments a lot. As far as complaints go, there's really just one, and that's that towards the end of the game, there's a thing called raids, which happen periodically. You don't necessarily have to do them all the time, but you should, because you get good rewards. Towards the end of the game, they just slap like 20 of those on you at once, and they're optional. You don't have to do them, but you should. If you're going for completion, you should. And, to get the true ending of the game, you actually need to do, like, most, if not all, the side content. So it's kind of a big deal to do most of the raids. Anyways, it was a good time. Plenty difficult. Lots of difficulties. Looks a little dated, but not bad by any means. And it just... all of the games play so different from anything else I've ever played. So action-y, arcadey. I don't know, I really like the way they play. And, I guess you could call it an anime game, but it doesn't, like, lean too heavily on the anime cheese, so, if you don't mind that kind of thing, it's definitely, like, easier to stomach here than other things that you might play. So, yeah, those are my impressions of it. Good game. Weird story, but ultimately super fun. Now, game number 2 is something that I've actually revisited, and that is Fallout 3. Something that I haven't played in a very long time because New Vegas is a better game, guys. I'm sorry. I know we're all nostalgic for 3. It had a cool story, but New Vegas is better designed. Like, the shooting still isn't great, but like you can aim in it, which is... why the fuck can you not aim in a game where you primarily fight with guns? I don't know, because we're lazy. We just want to put a gun game in the Elder Scrolls engine, that's why. And then, like, because the gunplay was so bad, you'd think maybe you'd use the melee weapons instead, because it came from Elder Scrolls. But guess what? Oblivion had terrible combat. You have a 2-hit combo and a heavy attack, and the combat just evolves into you backpedaling while swinging your sword. So, with that in mind, I played it in the Tale of Two Wastelands mod, which essentially takes all Fallout 3's content, puts in New Vegas, and gives you the option of playing both games on one character. I didn't do that, of course, but you can. Oh, also, the skill system's just better. Like, survival's a cool skill to have, and, big and small guns, that was stupid. They're guns, guys. And the perks are just better. Like, there's a lot more that specialize in weapon types, so you can get more of a class sense for your character. There's also the reputation system, because I now realize that karma is actually kind of dumb. I don't need the game to tell me whether or not I'm good or bad. I'm just doing what I do. It doesn't have any other effect than just the title. and achievements, which are really hard to get if you're going for the neutral ones. That kind of pissed me off when I originally played. Anyways, with all that out of the game, New Vegas better game, story's less fun, question mark. When I originally played New Vegas, I went for like the wild card route where you help out with Yes Man. I thought it all felt very New Vegas. It felt very Las Vegas to me, where I screw over all the factions. I didn't necessarily care for any of them. Honestly, the Legion probably deserves to win, if I'm being honest. Because they're well-worn villains. This isn't about New Vegas, is it? 3-3. So... looking back, I feel like 3, you definitely had a very predefined character already. Kind of like how in 4 they gave you like a voice character and the story's all about his son. This one, you don't have a voice character, but he easily could have been. And it's about finding your father. And then it turns into Brotherhood of Steel the game for no reason. Which I really dislike the Brotherhood. They made it very clear that they're like a sect of them that's doing their own thing. But they're kind of douchebags otherwise. And they're not even that great in the game, now that I have like context for all of it, but anyways. The story was definitely fun. It had like a more laid-back tone, I guess you could say. Like, it was more goofy. A lot of the quests were more fulfilling to do because you got like special perks out of them. Super cool. The game had a real sense of humor compared to New Vegas, I feel, even though there's less side quests in general. And... yeah, the main story is pretty unremarkable, other than just that it's fun, feels good to go through. And I did the DLC, which, I have to say, all of it's pretty not good. The Operation Anchorage, you go into a simulation, and it lasts for like 3 hours maybe, 2-3 hours. Very linear, there's missable collectibles, you can only do it once, so you can't go back for those collectibles. And you get some nice shiny pre-war equipment out of it. Alright, whatever, it passes because it was short. And then there's the pit, where you go to Pittsburgh, the land of slavery. And, I don't know, you go collect ingots for a bit in a very small area. You get fat loots, a lot of unique items you can get out of it, actually, which is cool. Then there's a very short arena segment, not Oblivion's arena. You lose your equipment for all this, by the way, and then they give it back to you, like, after the arena, and all the new shit you've collected is gonna weigh you down, so you have to, like, make 2 trips back to this place, or you're gonna be over-encumbered. Anyways, with the story, apparently there's like disease in the air, everyone has it, all the slaves are dying, and there's allegedly a cure that the people in the Hightown have. People in Hightown are raiders, so they're all assholes. But their leader says that it's only temporary, they're just working until they can get a cure and have a big army, and they're gonna make a real civilization. And that's all faith-based. You have to trust that he's gonna, like, get rid of slavery later. The thing about the cure is, it was actually like a baby that was born immune to the disease, and they want you to kidnap it so they can do experiments on it. And I was like, why did I think that doing that was ever the right choice? You get a good karma indication for doing it, for Christ's sake, but no. I chose not to kidnap that baby, and that's basically all that happened. I went and told the guy who hired me to fuck off, and then I left. They're gonna make the cure in their own time, I guess. I hope. I took the neutral path out of that one. So, relatively short. I feel like they could have done more with it. It had potential. There's Point Lookout, which, like, you go to an island full of treasure and hillbillies. and drugs and mad scientist. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't. I also, like, betrayed the guy who I was helping from the beginning, so I ended up getting no reward at all for finishing the quest line. So, yeah. I feel like I maybe ruined my own experience with that one, but it was weird. You have tanky-ass hillbillies who can one-shot you. Tribal people who are all missing parts of their brains, so they're stupid. And, I guess you could say there's like a light horror aspect to it, but like it's not spooky. Then there's Mothership Zeta, which we don't talk about. That one is you get abducted by aliens over by where you get a hidden fun item with limited ammo. It's super powerful. It was fun in the base game. I believe there's another crash ship you can go to get like an even more powerful version of it. But now, when you go there to get your cool thing, you get abducted, and they take away all your stuff, and you're stuck for, like, hours in a spaceship full of things that do a fuck ton of damage, and you're using weapons that do a fuck ton of damage. And all these are energy weapons, so if you spec into guns or melee, you're screwed. Yeah, we don't talk about that one. And there's, of course, Broken Steel, which lets you keep playing the game after the main story. And you go on a couple, like, linear shooter segments. You just shoot a bunch of Enclave, and that's about it. Increases the level cap to 30, though. Speaking of which, you used to get perks every single level, and, like, that feels good, but that's also, like, super busted, so... I appreciate that New Vegas switched it to every other level. So... yeah. I feel like I was pretty thorough with my exploration of the game. Like, I did most of the side content. Did all the DLC, except for Mothership, because fuck that. Yeah. That was all pretty lackluster. I felt like I was probably done. Like, I had my fill of the nostalgia by the end of the main campaign. And... yeah, in like 2 more sessions I did all the DLC and was not satisfied, so... I'd go back and do just the campaign in the future, I think. Even that is not super remarkable. So... I don't know, there's something about the tone of it that's just, like, funner. It's gotta be 100% nostalgia. But I can very easily see how the changes went from 3 to 4 the way they did. I appreciate that they improved the gunplay, at least, for 4, and I disliked what they did with the stat system originally, but, like, honestly, it's not all that different from how 3 was. So yeah. Fuck the fanboys, I guess. New Vegas is better. I know that's not necessarily the hot take, but it is. Yeah, I think that's about all I have to say about it. So, with that in mind, I guess we're outie. See y'all whenever I see yous. Probably within a week. I don't know. You know how it be.